Joining us now is OjyOkpe with stories trending around the world.
Good morning.
You didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I didn't see what was it? Oh, you mean the mellowed down introduction? Yeah. Oh, I love it. Good morning, Rufy on fire. How are you this morning?
Yeah.
Great. Good morning, Ayo. How are you this morning?
Yeah. I'm doing great.
Chief.
I didn't say the full thing. I just called you chief.
Chief.
Chief of everything.
You know that they've been trying to give me this chieftaincy title
Please,
to refine.
We'd like to call on our amiable elders.
Okay, let me just tell you, I have an older sister, so
Yes.
they should give her the chieftaincy title first.
So that one, like you said,
yes.
is your mom's soul. But you, separately for you.
Oh, just for me.
So they will give you.
And it should be called Chief of
In fact, if we don't give you on time, today I hereby confer one on you.
Oh, wow.
I give you the Amuludun of Arise TV.
That's a chieftaincy title.
Yes.
I humbly accept.
Yes.
Oshegon.
Thank you.
Well, all right.
Chief, yes.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending. The controversy surrounding the National Youth Service Corps member, Ushie Uguamaye, who made headlines over the weekend after condemning the government over the high cost of living in Nigeria and calling Tinubu a terrible president, has taken center stage in public discourse. Well, on Monday, Temitope Ajayi, a senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, defended his comments on the Corper's outburst. Ajayi berated the Corper in a Facebook post, saying that as a youth corps member, Uguamaye had no right to criticize Tinubu. He added that citizens could abuse their president or any public official, but that the Corper violated her oath and code of conduct, and as such deserved the capital punishment under NYSC. His comments elicited a wave of criticism, with many social media users accusing him of suggesting a death penalty for the Corper. In a statement issued on Monday, Ajayi dismissed the criticism, saying his comments were twisted. Well, he wrote, "The mob get their oxygen from misrepresentations and deliberate mischief. I made comments under a post where I advertently wrote that what the lady Corper did should attract capital punishment under NYSC, which means her indiscretion should attract highest punishment under the NYSC scheme. The highest punishment under NYSC is expulsion." There was a follow-up comment on that same thread where I provided the context in my usage of capital punishment under NYSC as a metaphor. The follow-up comment that explained the previous comment was ignored. It is common sense that there is no death penalty anywhere as punishment under NYSC law. This story is continuing to brew at this moment, and there's been a lot of reactions in terms of whether or not, what is in the rule book or what is not in the rule book, and whether or not she violated the laws, the NYSC laws. But then also it took another dimension, which is also almost like an ethnic dimension, because, she is not from Lagos State, but she was relocated to Lagos for her NYSC, and she was complaining about the smell of Lagos State. And I really liked your comment yesterday, Ayo, where you made mention that, this is just a constructive criticism. And the smell is not, if there's a smell, it's not going to be permanent if you actually listen to her and, try to see where she's talking or where the smell is coming from. Let me take this Taiwo's tweet. He wrote, "But why relocating to Lagos? That stinks and smells. Listen, NYSC is just 12 months. You are either posted to Lagos as one of the 36 states of the Federation, an FCT, or you work your NYSC through the back door to your state of choice if you have the link." Imagine that. For Ushie Uguamaye, who came to Lagos in 2024, the solution to this stinking and smelling Lagos is to relocate to other places you were coming from. Fortunately, they don't smell like Lagos. How is this difficult to do? And unfortunately, Taiwo is not the only person who made this. I've read some comments from people that I consider intelligent. I actually thought they were intelligent until I read comments like Taiwo's comment. This divisiveness needs to stop. It is really discouraging to see that at this stage we're continuing to talk about things that don't really matter. Well, before I come to you guys, let me take this. In the meantime, activist and former presidential candidate Omoyele Sowore escorted the Youth Corps member to the offices of the National Youth Service Corps in Eti-Osa LGI, where she was scheduled to appear before the LGI. However, Omoyele tweeted that the LGI official reportedly failed to show up. I mean, that's Omoyele Sowore there with the Youth Corps member. He came, to her aid because obviously she said that she was invited to the NYSC offices. But people came for Omoyele Sowore. And I'll take this tweet from Rotimi Adeosun, who wrote, "You have long completely lost the real essence of activism. With your nihilistic approach, encouraging anarchy and deliberate disobedience to authorities, activism is not hooliganism and endorsing bad behaviors. What the lady has done is condemnable and should be sanctioned." Well, another user came to Omoyele's defense, this is Village, who wrote, "Those who are enemies of themselves are already pushing narratives on this comment section. They can't stand the idea of Sowore being accepted for being a true fighter of oppression and oppressors. I dare say they hate the idea of a Nigeria that works for all Nigerians." And this is actually some of the rhetoric that I saw online, which is this Youth Corps member has come out there to complain about the high cost of living, which a lot of people are feeling, no matter who you are. The richest of Nigerians are feeling the pinch of this high inflation at this moment. It is non-negotiable. But in the meantime, somebody who actually started this whole conversation of whether or not NYSC rules are this way or not was a Twitter user who goes by the name The Voice. And he had pulled out a statement online, and I don't know where he got this from. Maybe it's from an old rule book. And he had written on X that as an NYSC member, it is crucial to avoid making disparaging or insulting remarks about the state you are serving in, as it is a violation of the NYSC bylaws and can lead to disciplinary action. Another part of his tweet there, he wrote, "Disciplinary action. If a core member is found to have insulted the state, they could face disciplinary action, potentially including appearing before a camp court or a state disciplinary committee." Actually, I had my producer, and I also looked through the rule book. I don't see that part of the laws or the disciplinary laws. I don't know if you have looked through the rule book, if you saw that part of it. But in the meantime, I believe that lawyers and people have come out to discredit that part of the NYSC bylaw, or whether or not it is there. And this tweet is from Inibehe Efyong, who wrote on Twitter. He had a lengthy tweet. He wrote, "Criticizing the president or the government is not an offense under the NYSC Act. See Section 13. It is also not an offense under the NYSC bylaws. See Section 4 of the revised bylaws 2011. I have watched all the videos of this lady that are being debated. There's nothing slightly partisan in her comments. She merely expressed her justified frustrations with the state of affairs in the country, particularly the impact of the scourging inflation on her and other Nigerians. This is within her constitutional right to freedom of expression as guaranteed by Section 39 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. I am in contact with the lady. We will ensure that her rights are protected if the need arises." I know you have some comments, Rufai. You're pulling up some documents right there.
Yes.
Let's get some empirical facts. Facts. We love that.
So, couple of things. Number one, let me start from the presidential spokesperson. He's my brother, my very good friend, but I disagree with all he said. And like Inibe has been able to look through those laws, there's nowhere. And if those, let's even say those things were written in the NYSC bylaw. So is it that the NYSC bylaw is higher than the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Is that what they're trying to say? For him to now be calling for, saying, the disciplinary measure is capital punishment for a core member that's talking about the pain they are feeling in the country? You see, they will never address the matter. Criticism will always be like Ushie in their body. because they don't address the issues. If you can point out one thing she said that is wrong, I'll have supported them. But she's talking about the plight she's facing. She's feeling and what she's going through. So him saying they twisted, nobody twisted your word. We saw your Facebook post, my brother. We saw your Facebook post.
I mean, I don't know if he knows what capital punishment means. Isn't that what was on that tweet? Capital punishment, right?
All I would tell him is, do better next time. And there was no point responding. It's not everything you respond to. You could have searched this one out, like they say. So that's a part. Secondly, speaking about criticism, this morning, what I was pulling up, I've been reading all the criticism of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu from 2014. He didn't even dignify the president by calling him president too. He said, Jonathan continues on this part of selective auditioning. When he was saying all of this, people were praising him and visioning, pretending not to notice the rape of judiciary. Why should any part of this country be under occupation? In any civilized country, Jonathan should resign. Attack on Nigeria's democracy, Nigerians must hold Jonathan's presidency responsible. A military and police force assembled and paid by Jonathan government, and the PDP cannot serve national interests and their paymasters. This was somebody criticizing another person. So why is it that now that he's being criticized, he's feeling this way? And for people that try to make it religion, or turn it into she should go back, she should leave Lagos.
Yes, I don't understand.
You see, people like that, I'm not surprised. Oji, it's you that don't understand that sense is not evenly distributed in Nigeria. There are some places of higher concentration to lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. There's an osmotic movement of sense. But that osmotic movement is impeded once you join certain political parties. That's why somebody said, and I quote, that if you join the human brain is dynamic. Yeah. That if you join a certain political party, the brain stops to what? To work. Yeah. So we are not surprised. They will always put religion into it. What's the fact? Lagos smells. Oji.
And there are reasons why
I find it difficult because the gutters are cluttered.
It's an island, and it's the same with New York. It stinks. I lived in New York for 20-something years, and I'll tell you, many parts of New York stink.
When you say something stinks, what do? You fix it.
Yeah.
So and people that are calling Sowore nihilists because he stood up for a girl that her right was being threatened. I am sure the NYC will never call that girl if she had said, God bless President Tinubu.
No.
But now, because she said something in opposition to the president, if that same girl had said, Peter Obi is a terrible man, the NYC will not call her to order. But because she has said something at variance with, the president now, then nothing should happen, then she should face the consequences. I'm happy Sowore went. It's because Sowore, stood up for her. That's why they fled.
Right.
We must build a country where we have sense. A lot of people don't in this country.
All right. I mean, I really liked Inibehe Effiong's clarification. If you guys have a chance, go read through his tweet. And, he's a lawyer, and he has detailed the fact that, this young woman did not break any law. Really, we cannot continue in this manner, in this fashion. Ayovimbai.
Right, I'd like for Mr. Temitope Ajayi to show us where in the bylaws or the code of conduct that he saw that, but Corper, I will read what he said, what he posted on Facebook. That portion that he said was taken out of context. Citizens can abuse a living day out of their president or any public official. It is normal. But a Corper violated her oath and code of conduct here. That is capital punishment under NYSC. How else would you interpret this? How else are you supposed to?
Well, maybe he thinks capital punishment means the highest form of punishment.
Insulting his intelligence.
He doesn't
understand English.
I mean, that's what
he's a special advisor on media and publicity. He must have a good command of the English language.
That's the clarification he gave. That it was because
so it doesn't hold water. I expect a lot more from him. He's educated. He understands capital punishment. He's a special advisor to the president. So even more than anybody anybody else, he ought to be careful with the way he uses words. If he were another citizen, by now, they would have been putting Cybercrime Act on him, saying that he's inciting, hitting the polity and inciting violence, because that statement is very pregnant, Oji. It's not because not only the people who are already angry, if you go on X, you see people, she already received threats in her DM. So when you're saying that it deserves what they, somebody might want to help NYSC to achieve that. So that's what I'm saying, like, very sensitive, and these spokespeople ought to know better. We've criticized them a number of times for the way and manner in which they misrepresent the office of the president by saying things out of turn, and then later they either say, oh, it's my opinion, or remember even the Lagos guy, Ridwan, or what was his name, that was suspended by the governor of Lagos State because of what he said as well. Very good. Now, for the bylaws, 27 says, the only part that talks about not being rude, not be rude to constituted authority. I
saw that. That's not what they're saying.
That's also
the rudeness is not what it was.
And the punishment in itself is any member who is rude to constituted authority shall be tried by the cause disciplinary committee. Nothing about capital punishment. And if found guilty, be liable to extension of service for a period of not less than 30 days with half pay. Now, moving forward. And
nothing about disparaging constituted authority.
Just one thing in terms of moving forward is that the president has a fine moment in dealing with this situation to show himself in a good light to Nigerians, especially since he's very big on pushing the fact that the Nigerian youth is the greatest asset that Nigerians have. If you have an asset, what you want to do is to protect the asset at all costs. What would happen is that if this girl is oppressed, as with many other young people, they will jackpot, they will go to other countries, and we keep losing our best brains, our future leaders, all in the name of being intolerant of criticism.
Absolutely.
So what I'll say is that let him rein in his attack dogs, and then have the opportunity to even have a sit down. Okay, what is happening? Have a youth meeting and talk to people, not this constant killing of ideas and thoughts, all in the name of supporting the president.
All right, we'll follow up on the story. I'm glad that lawyers have spoken and young ladies well within her rights. Well, in the meantime, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's son, Seyi Tinubu's visit to northern states to hand out food items during this month of Ramadan has elicited a wave of criticism. Many northerners have accused Seyi of trying to gain public support for his father's re-election campaign by exploiting the fasting period for political gain. Some voiced their dissatisfaction on social media, questioning the rationale of giving out handouts to northerners, while the Southwest continues to thrive under his father's administration. Let's take this Facebook post from Salisu Umar, who wrote, "Your daddy gave you takeaways with cooked rice to give northerners and gave you hospitals, roads, ICT facilities, and scholarships to give to Yoruba people. Tell him we have received his message. Let him wait for our own 2027. That's a divisive tweet, and I wanted to highlight that just to see. But we have seen that Seyi Tinubu has been out there with his, youth initiative in the north, but that's not what most northerners believe at this point. In the meantime, Seyi Tinubu was in Yobe State over the weekend, where he defended his father, calling him the greatest president Nigeria has ever had, and the only leader who has created an economy that benefits everyone. Seyi Tinubu also defended his Ramadan distribution and his youth initiative program. Let's take a look.
They keep coming for Ushie Bola, Ahmed, Tinubu, the greatest president in the history of Nigeria. Let's address this. The EFTA program was one where I wanted to come and break fast with my peers. It is something that the Weather Foundation has been doing for over 6 years in Lagos. Something that we have done every single day by breaking and having iftar with 2,000 people every single day. And last year, we sent over 20,000 boxes alone to the northwest and another 10,000 to the northeast. And now they're saying he is only bringing cooked food to the north and is giving grants to the south. Let's address this. In the north, we have done educational school programs. In the north, we have given iPads out. Everything I say, we are the future. We know what it takes. We know what it's going to take because we come together as a group to work together.
All right. We took this story yesterday, but we took the portion where he was praising his father as the best president. But, you know, I mean, the video is quite long, and he said a lot of things which, you know, he tried to defend his distribution. And, you know, Northerners are not stupid. They are seeing that, why is it now that you're coming? What was happening all this while? Why is it now that you're coming out that the 2027 election is in full swing at the moment? Our favorite, you know I have to do that with you, our favorite Niger wife.
Well, where do we begin with this? I think, first of all, she's a private citizen of Nigeria, and he is more than entitled to do whatever philanthropic activities he deems fit. And he is more than entitled to support whoever he wants and to have his own opinion about whoever the president is as and when he chooses. That's number one. However, he's a little bit more than a private citizen. So as the son of the president, given the current political climate, economic climate, there is a lot happening in Nigeria right now. I wish somebody had told him to read the room. There's a time and a place for everything. Now, sometimes you think you're trying to repair things, or you're extending an olive branch, or, you know, trying to wade in the political waters. But sometimes what you're doing is you're making a mistake.
Right.
Because there are some bridges that need to be mended. We've all seen that. And of course, we've seen various universities. That's why I disagree with the first comment, because we've seen a number of universities being commissioned in the northern. There was one in Kaduna. A number of universities have been commissioned in the northern part of the country. However, like I said, there are several divisions that need to be mended by the president, not by the president's son.
Right.
We want to see that if there's an olive branch being extended, if there's some sort of communication that the president wants to pass on, it needs to come from him directly. His son going there, no problem. Let him enjoy himself. He's more than free to do so. However, what we need to be careful of, again, is the fact that we do not have dynastic politics in this country. This country is a democracy. No problem. We're Africans. We like to send our family and our family members, even globally, family members will campaign for their own. However, in this instant, like I said, we need to read the room, because you'll end up insulting people who are just minding their business. Now you're provoking people.
Right. Absolutely right. I mean, I believe the bigger picture is this idea of palliative economy, which we've always talked about. The Northerners are complaining that, you know, instead of giving us handouts, you know, try your best to give us something more than just food. And, you know, try to not politicize things like Ramadan and, you know, events like that, because it's almost like an insult. Just, I mean, that's my takeaway from the comments that I have read so far. And it's good criticism, good feedback for, you know, the president and his son. If they're going around doing these distributions, maybe they should look inwards and try to empower the states as well, especially in the north, where we've talked about several out-of-school children and the sort of poverty that they are facing at the moment. We'll head over to Rivers State now, where the political crisis rocking Rivers State has taken a new dimension after the House of Assembly members initiated impeachment proceedings against the state governor, Sim Fubara, and his deputy, Professor Ngozi Odu. The impeachment proceedings are coming days after Fubara was denied access to the temporary legislative quarters where the Martins Amuwale-led lawmakers sit. On Monday, the lawmakers served both officials with a notice of alleged gross misconduct, sparking widespread criticism. Meanwhile, a video of Fubara's supporters singing his praise following the impeachment proceeding notice is making the rounds on social media. Let's take a look. Over to you.
All right, I think that's
Rivers State now, Fubara. I mean, he's the governor.
Yeah, but he doesn't own the state. The people own the state.
The people own
and that's
the
why I'm
state.
like, that perspective has to change. This thing about one man owning the state, you can't want to fight an oppressor, in quote, or a one-man state and hand it over to another man. Until the people wake up and realize that we are the owners of the state, we'll continue to have this kind of... But let me understand their sentiment that they're just saying is the governor. But the truth is that you, the people, own the state, and Fubara is representing your interest as governor of the state. That aside, earlier we had a very broad, conversation around this whole impeachment saga. Remember, once this the Supreme Court ruling, the next thing people had said was that impeachment sure passed for Fubara, like a lot of people, and there were denials here and there. But there's still a procedure, a process that might take months in order for this to be actualized. And I'm hoping that Governor Fubara has his own ammunition and assets to be able to fight what seems almost like an inevitable end, even though he's chosen to pursue the path of peace. Following this letter, they're going to serve him in the next 7 days. He has 14 days to respond, after which they're going to pass a motion in the House whether or not to go ahead to investigate this matter. If this is set to be passed, the Chief Judge of the state is going to institute a 7-man panel that's non-partisan, no public office holder, and they will evaluate the allegations brought against him, and following that, he can then represent himself, whether by a legal representative to defend himself. If found guilty, then they'll go ahead to impeach the governor, just to say that.
All right, Aya, well said. Well, let's head over to Ogun State now, where the chairman of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, on Monday, alleged that his cement factory in Itori was demolished twice during the tenure of former governor Ibukunle Amosun, forcing his company to abandon the investment. Dangote made a revelation during a courtesy visit to Governor Dakwa Abiodun at the government house. Let's take a look before we come back for a discussion.
Are they able to have it on record that the factory you are visiting now, Itori, it was the first of His Excellency that we came back. That factory was demolished twice. We started building, Onamosu demolished it. The second time we restarted again, he demolished not only the factory, including the fencing. So we left. But right now, we're coming back of His Excellency, my brother, Prince Tapo. We are now, when we go there, you will be very surprised.
All right, Rufai, this video has made the rounds of social media. At first, when I saw the video, I'm like, Nigeria will continue to fail its citizens. I mean, I didn't understand why I would be watching this sort of, I call it tragedy at this moment, because you know how far Dangote has gone, even with building his refinery and the troubles that he has faced. And now we see that he's saying that, his factory was demolished twice. But I believe that we also received a statement from, the Amosun camp saying that his factory was probably demolished because he didn't have all the requirements or maybe flouting the laws. Rufai, and I'll try to read some of that if I can find it.
What the Amosun camp was saying that he should show the approvals he got.
Show the approvals he got, yes.
He should expatiate further. I want the Amosun camp to really show us what they have as regards the refinery. The Dangote cement factory. But the question I also like to ask the Amosun camp, so was demolition of something they had spent money on, was it the best way forward?
That's the question.
Was that the best way to be able to retain investment in the States? This slash and burn, because see, this man, Dangote, has tried as much as possible to put investment across many states in the country. Ogun State, Ibeshe, has been a great beneficiary. He wanted to put another one to ramp up production. If he had done that successfully, he should have ramped up production to about 18 million today. What he ought to have done a couple of years ago, nothing happened. Now he's now going back to it. It was because of the fight they had before that he came to Lagos in the first place. And it was from the revelation that we heard that they gave people $100 million in Lagos for the land. We thought the land was free. Till today, some people have not accounted for that money. I think cases are even in court as regards that money. So you can see how the state government also stifled growth. So I will want the Amosun side to bring out the facts they have as regards the approval. And I want to ask them, in all of the approval they will bring out, was the right way forward demolition?
That's the question.
Kudos to Governor Dakwa Abiodun for now bringing this in. Hope after the Governor Dakwa Abiodun, whoever governor will come, will still give Dangote the same level of support. Because sustainability should be the order of the day. It should not be about politics. And Ogun State should watch it. They have caused us a lot of problems. You remember how they cost us, these judgment debts that some Chinese agencies wanted to get for us because free zone events happen and some people cancel deals. Please, we want investors. Isheya Omogu, Isheya. Welcome again, Mr. Dangote.
Welcome.
But please, we also want to get the side of Mr. Amosu and see all those approval. But the question I have for them is,
yes,
even if those approval, like you claim, were not cut, was the best way forward destroying what they have spent money on?
I like that question, Rufai. Let me just read a part of the statement. They wrote, Dangote is just one of many going concerns in Ogun State. And the Amosu administration is on record to have attracted over 500 companies to the state and was acknowledged by the World Bank as one of the top 3 states ensuring ease of doing business in Nigeria. I mean, they've highlighted their achievement. However, while we wait to hear from Dangote, we would like to state that not all Nigerians can be compromised, bullied, or blackmailed. They are alleging blackmail. The notion that everyone has a price is an expression applicable to only the people with weak foundations and questionable upbringing. This is why some of us will continue to uphold high standards. I mean, this was just quite irrelevant. I didn't understand.
All of this is dance. You know when you dance around the situation?
Beating around.
Mr. Amosu, please give us the empirical facts.
That's it.
That due process was not followed. Well, and in the case where he gives us the empirical facts, was demolishing what was built on ground, was it the way to go?
That's
and
it.
Please, with due respect also, Mr. Amosu, you say one of the highest, or if not the highest taxpayer in Nigeria is just another going concern in your
that's
state.
why I needed to raise that. I was shocked when I read that.
Oji, show me one person that pay more taxes than Dangote. Maybe probably MTN.
Dangote. Well, Rufai, you are from Ogun State.
And I want development.
Rufai Oseni here has welcomed Dangote on board. Well, he is welcome to Ogun State. Well, still in Ogun State, Governor Dapo Abiodun has named 2 students who graduated with a perfect 5.0 GPA from Unilag as the state's education ambassadors and awarded them 10 million naira each in recognition of their achievements. The 2 students, Samuel Bade Kale and Harun Adebakin, were received at the government house in Abeokuta by the state governor, who praised their excellence, emphasizing that education is a pathway to success. He urged them to inspire younger students through mentorship programs and assured them of continued government support.
We will be supporting you with a small check. It's a small check of 10 million naira each for each of you. It's just a token of appreciation to you and your parents for what you do by making Ogun State proud. We are going to appoint both of you as our education ambassadors in Ogun State. Yes.
I mean, this was so beautiful. Congratulations, Dapo Abiodun, the governor of the state, and the 2 students. And I say congratulations to the governor, because this is not the first time we're seeing this sort of initiative from the governor. Remember when he recognized that teacher? Yes. And it's so great that we have these state ambassadors. It's not an easy feat. Yeah. 5.0 GPA is amazing. Congratulations to the students. I mean, I wish we could have gone to Kenya to recognize the president of the AFDB Bank, who received a national honor.
I just thank you so much, Oji, for that. He received Kenya's highest national honor. The first Nigerian, the 9th person to be given that honor. It's called the Grand Order of the Golden Heart.
Dr. Akinwumi Ayodeji Adeshina is a distinguished economist and global development leader, currently serving as the president and chairman of the board of directors of the Africa Development Bank. Dr. Akinwumi has transformed the bank into a globally recognized institution for financial innovation and development impact, and grown the general capital from 93 billion to $318 billion.
Congratulations. We all congratulate him. Well, I'd love to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on what's trending. Congratulations, Governor Dapo Abiodun. That's all I have for you guys on what's trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.